Hello out there, Heavy Monte here. Now they tell me that Donald Trump got his behind in another jam, saying that people are going around saying that he's trying to cover up his name in the Jeffrey Epstein mess. You know, that mess with Jeffrey Epstein grooming young girls. You understand, America? Now, we don't want to, we want to keep this to a family show tonight. So we're going to say that Jeffrey Epstein was doing bad things to young girls, America. And they say, and his accomplice is doing time in jail right now for that. Donald Trump said he wishes her well. you know, that means keep your mouth shut. I'll give you a pardon. I believe that. But America, now Donald Trump must be a jinx. You understand? He can't get nothing right. Everything he touches dies. And I think the cabinet, Donald Trump cabinet, but they're just as bad as him, or somebody needed to call a meeting and say, we need to send Donald Trump down the road. But I'm going to tell you why. Donald Trump needs to resign immediately. Now, he's signing all those executive orders. Now, in America, do you believe, excuse me, do you believe that Donald Trump sat down and drafted these executive orders? No, because the guy always tell him, hey, Mr. President, we have an executive order here stopping the people from eating the cats and the dogs. Could you please sign it? And Donald Trump said, yes, we need to stop that. I said that they were doing it. Nobody believed me. And this order will, fix it for us, right? Because he's never signed anything worth a damn. It's always stuff that's hurting the American people, taking people's jobs away from them and stuff like that. Now, this latest Epstein thing, America, I think that, hey, everybody can see it now. Donald Trump need to resign immediately. Uh, and he needs to take that guy, what's his name, J.D. Vance, that's not even his real name, with him, you know. And the Republican Party, they need to resign too, the whole party. But we got to help them, you know. We got to help them in 18 months at the midterms, And this month's going real fast. It'll be 17, 16, 15, you know, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll vote their ass out. You see what I'm saying, America? Now, I have never seen anything like the Republican Party. But they do one honorable thing. They don't show their face. They don't show their face when they go home to their district. They're telling you in advance, you know, we screwed you. We're working for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the king. We're afraid. We need our jobs. We got to feed our family. We don't care about you. And we pay their salaries. And they're taking away our health care. Hmm? And we're paying for theirs. You know, I think they need to volunteer to lose their health care and pay for their own stuff. You see what I'm saying, America? Huh? But they are the elite, the Republican Party, the master race, they say. Now, I want to spend a little bit more time tonight talking about this Jeffrey Epstein thing. I think Donald Trump guilty. That's all we need to say. We don't need to talk any more about that because if Donald Trump was not guilty and he had all those records and his name was nowhere on those records, he would have put them out. Wouldn't he, America? Huh? Wouldn't you? If somebody was saying that you was doing something that horrible and that your best friends was Jeffrey Epstein and you were his best friend and you were with him all the time and you said that he liked young women and you also said excuse me, again, allergy season. And you also said that the woman who was grooming the children at your facility, Mar-a-Lago, you know, you wish that person well, huh? So you guilty, I believe, Donald Trump. So we don't need to talk about that anymore. So now we're going to talk about this America. Now the Republican Party, they're going around saying that they're going to try to change the bill. You know, they're going to go back and try to do some things to, fix that big nasty bill they put out. Isn't that stupid? You know knowingly what this bill is going to do to the economy, and you blame it on Donald Trump, who don't even know where he is. Republicans, you need to stand up and stop lying to the American people. Just tell the American people the truth. Huh? You are in it for the billionaires. You don't know anything. You have nothing in common with your voters. You don't know what your voters need. Huh? When 70 to 80% of the people of your voters on SNAP, and need help from the government assistance, you don't know that the government is, helping keep these hospitals afloat, these small towns, You don't understand them. What the Republican Party and the voters in the red state did to themselves is a crime. Because I remember, you know, I was working in West Virginia and I used to drive down to Uniontown, Pennsylvania on the back roads. And every freaking little town was closed down. I went to West Virginia to visit a friend, and that place was Boomtown, USA. I'm talking about Star City. Boom Town. Huh? The government, Joe Biden put that place back together. But West Virginia was voted for Biden. Excuse me, for Donald Trump. Huh? And the first thing that Donald Trump did was lay them off in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And that's a pretty nice place in West Virginia. The federal government keep those people alive there. He laid them off, and they voted for Donald Trump. You know, because they were MAGA guys. I always say that, brainwashed. They didn't really see reality. You know, ladies and gentlemen, demand that your government treat all of their citizens as one, no matter what, no matter if they're gay, no matter if they're straight, American Indian, no matter if they're black, no matter if they're white, no matter who they are. Civil rights is for all. We don't put each other against each other, and we do not pick our citizens up off the street unless we are sure, and we have systems right here in America to handle that situation. But Donald Trump said he needs an army with masks on. And the MAGA Supreme Court said that's fine for you to do that. Fine. Taking money out of the mouth of children. Taking money out of the mouth of the poor. Taking money out of the mouth of hospitalization and health care from America to build a wall. When all you have to do is fix the immigration system and tell everybody who hired an illegal immigrant that we're going to put your ass in jail for 5 years if you break the damn law, if you don't have the right paperwork, and make it legal to hire these beautiful, wonderful people. These people aren't gang members, America. We got gangs in all races. Gangs in all races. So why are you singling out the Hispanics? And saying we're going to take and beat down a whole entire race of people because some of them might be gang members? These people aren't gang members. I know. You know them too. They live right by you. Beautiful people, wonderful people, beautiful children. But we allow the scourge of racism to exist under the banner of free speech. We need to outlaw that shit in America. We should not allow any of these groups to exist. Seriously. When free speech kill people, it's time to stop it. You see what I'm saying? If it's hurting people, like the way what they're doing, right? And I'll make the civil laws hard. So when people do it, the civil laws are pretty good right now. You can civilly sue people when they trample over your about a hate crime, no matter who you are, black, white, whoever. We do have hate crime laws. But these institutions that are doing these things, and I consider the Federalist Society a racist organization. I consider CPAC a racist organization. I consider Turning Point and all these other Republican organizations out there in groups domestic terrorists. You support a convict, and you're damn sure, and don't be telling no damn body that you're a freaking Christian. You're not. You're in a cult, a dangerous cult, you see. And everybody who's been in that cult, get out of it immediately. You can see it. They can't tell you nothing. And they're not going to tell you anything. See, they're not saying they need to go hide. And they'll come back and they'll start this American Party and say, this is the new Republican Party. We got dinosaurs, progressive Democrats. I, Heavy Monte, again, I am endorsing Gavin Newsom for the next president of the United States. AOC, Vice President. Me, Heavy Monte, the communication director, telling everybody never, ever vote for a Republican because Republicans are notorious liars and they will lead you straight to the unemployment line. And Donald Trump, Joe Biden said that he will take your soul. Huh? And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in evil, you can see that Donald Trump is evil.